Okay. It is 9:47, so let's go ahead and get started. Let's see that as I finish up attendance. Oh, there's another one. Do 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 do. Okay, so code today is DVOJAM. DevoJam. DevoGam, I should say. All right, for the bell work today, you're just writing the tangent of 19 degrees as blank over blank. I'll give you 3 minutes to try it on your own, and then we'll go over it. All right, so first step you need to do is label off of your angle. So this would be the opposite side. This would be the hypotenuse. And then 5 would have to be the adjacent side then. Step number 2, you have to use your formula. So the formula you should have here in your notes is that the tangent of any angle is opposite over adjacent. So if we plug in our values, the opposite side is h, and the adjacent side is 5. So the tangent of 19 degrees is h over 5. All right, questions about that problem? Or does anyone need more time to write? Yeah, that's it. Today's class, we're going to talk about how you could go further with this problem, actually solve it to find out what h is. But for right now, that's all. Okay, well, let's go ahead and do that then. So today, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and start solving our trig formulas so that we can find the missing sides of a right triangle. So the steps that you're going to do are very similar to what we've done before. You're going to label your triangle, opposite and adjacent and hypotenuse for the given angle. You're going to write your equations. Ideally, you're going to write the equation that relates your known side to the unknown side you're trying to find. And then you're going to plug in your labels into your formula. So those steps A through C are pretty much what we've been doing for the last, 2 weeks now? 3? This is the new thing that we're adding today, where we're actually going to go ahead and solve the equation that we've written for our missing side. So I'll give you a minute to write this down, and then we'll do some examples. All right, does anyone need more time to write?
Yep.
Yeah, a little bit. Okay. All right, all right, all right.
We're good.
Good. Anybody else not good anymore? Okay. Well, doing examples. Let's see if this works. This Pear Deck has been super glitchy for me today. It still is. I have no idea what software glitch that could be, but it's pulling a slide from my pre-calc notes instead of the one that's actually in the thing. I don't understand it. Well, whatever. Okay, I'm gonna stop share, reshare whole screen. All right. Okay. So let's say we're given this right triangle and we want to find the values of G and H. First step we're going to do is we're going to label our triangle from the given angle. So we're given that angle H is 25 degrees. This side would be opposite angle H. 13 would be the hypotenuse, which means G has to be the adjacent side. So that's the first step. All right, so now we're going to use our formulas. If I want to find, let's find G first. If I want to find the value of G, the adjacent side, when I'm given my known side is the hypotenuse, which equation, which trig function relates adjacent and hypotenuse? Sine, cosine, or tangent? That's right, cosine. Sine of an angle, well, I don't need to rewrite it over there. I'll rewrite it over here. So remember, the cosine of any angle is adjacent over hypotenuse. So the next step is you have to identify which trig function, sine, cosine, or tangent, relates the one you're trying to find with the known side. For us, that's cosine. If we plug in our values, we have that our angle is 25 degrees. The adjacent side is G, and the hypotenuse is 13. So far, that's just like the bow work. Now we're going to take it one step further. If I want to solve this for G, I need to get rid of this divide by 13. And the opposite of dividing by 13 is to multiply by 13. So on the right side, these will cancel, and I'll have G is equal to 13 times the cosine of 25 degrees. All right, if I want to find out what that is, I then grab my calculator, hit mode, make sure it's in degrees. And then we just type in 13 times the cosine of 25. We get 11.782. So it's round to the 10th. So 11.8. All right. Do I have any questions about how we found G? Okay, let's do this again, but now we're going to find h. So now I'm trying to find the opposite side. Again, the known side that I'm given is the hypotenuse. So which trig function relates opposite and hypotenuse? Sine, cosine, or tangent? That's right, sine. The sine of any angle is opposite over hypotenuse. So if we plug in our values, our angle is 25 degrees. The opposite side is h, and the hypotenuse is 13. To solve this for h, I need to get h by itself, which means I need to get rid of this divide by 13. And the opposite of dividing is to multiply. So h will be 13 times the sine of 25 degrees. And if you don't have that TI-84, which is kind of silly, you should, you can Google these. If I type in 13 sine of 25, the only issue you'll run into is it's giving you the answer in radians and not degrees. This is 25 radians and not 25 degrees. So you end up having to type it in again because you'll have to click this button to make it in degrees and then type it in again. And so you get 5.494, or if we round to the 10th, 5.5. Okay. Do we have any questions about how I got G or H, or does anyone need more time to write? Okay, then it is your turn. I'm going to give you 3 minutes to just do problem A here. Find the value of x and y for this right triangle. Again, using the trigonometric steps that we've been doing so far. And then we'll go over how to do that problem. And then I'll give you 3 minutes to try B. And then we'll go over that one. So there's 3 minutes right now. Try to find the value of x and y using your trigonometric formulas. Um, oops. All right, you have to hit mode and then go down, down, right, and hit enter to make sure your degree is highlighted. So mode, down, down, right, degree. No problem. That's what they pay me the big bucks for. Yeah. Um,
Can I get more time?
yeah, we can do some more time. That's fine. Okay. If you're using your phone calculator, I think for most of yours, you're gonna have to make sure it's in degree mode. Okay. You'll have to rotate it so that it pulls up your scientific mode. And then you should be able to select degree. It's usually like in the top left, but then you're gonna have to, it's kind of weird. You have to type in the angle and then hit cosine. So like for the last one we did, you would have to type in 13 times 25, then hit the sine or cosine button. And then it'll apply the sine or cosine to the last number you wrote. So it'll apply it to the 25, and then you should be able to hit enter to get your answer. The first thing you need to do to get started with this one is label. So based off this angle here, which one's my opposite, hypotenuse, and adjacent? That's the first thing you have to do. And then once you have your labels, you have to say which trig function relates the side you're trying to find with the missing side. So for this problem, hopefully you found that y is the opposite side. 4 is the hypotenuse. And x is the adjacent leg. And then if we're trying to find x, I'm trying to find the adjacent side given the hypotenuse is 4, which trig function relates adjacent and hypotenuse?
Cosine.
That's right. Adjacent and hypotenuse is cosine. So the cosine of any angle is adjacent over hypotenuse. If we plug in our values, our angle is 60 degrees. The adjacent side is x. And the hypotenuse is 4. To solve this for x, we need to get rid of the divide by 4 And the opposite of dividing by 4 is multiply. So x will be 4 times the cosine of 60 degrees, which, if we type into our calculator, make sure it's in degree mode, 4 times the cosine of 60 is 2. To find y, again, we have our labels already done. This time we're trying to find the opposite given the hypotenuse, and which trig function relates opposite and hypotenuse. Well, that's sine. Sine, penny angle, is opposite over hypotenuse. If we plug in our values, our angle is 60 degrees. The opposite side is y, and the hypotenuse is 4. If I want to get y by itself, I need to get rid of the divide by 4. And the opposite of dividing by 4 is to multiply by 4. So y is 4 times the sine of 60 degrees. Grab our calculator and type that in. We get 3.464. All right. Do we have questions about that? Then I'm going to give you 3 minutes. Try to do problem B here. Find the value of B and C for this right triangle, given an angle of 23 degrees and this side length of 4.5. I am hungry. Okay, let's go over these. So if we label for our angle here. Yep, okay, good. This would be the opposite. This would be the hypotenuse, which means 4.5 is our adjacent leg. If I try to find the value of B, I'm trying to find the opposite side when I'm given the adjacent. And which trig function relates opposite and adjacent? Sine, cosine, or tangent? That's right, tangent. So we're gonna write that the tangent of any angle is opposite over adjacent. For our problem, if we plug in our values, our angle is 23 degrees. The opposite side is B, and the adjacent side is 4.5. If I want to solve this for B, I need to get rid of the divide by 4.5 so I can get B by itself. And the opposite of dividing by 4.5 is to multiply. So B will be 4.5 times the tangent of 23 degrees, which is about 4.5 times tangent 23. 1.910. If we try to find the value of C, the problem gets a little bit harder, but still doable. If I want to find the hypotenuse given the adjacent, which trig function relates adjacent and hypotenuse? Well, we did that up here. That's cosine. So again, the cosine of any angle is adjacent over hypotenuse. Plug in our values, we get the cosine of 23 degrees is 4.5 over C. So now this problem is different than the other three or other five we've done. The value we're trying to find isn't in the numerator, it's in the denominator. Oh no, that's not great. Well, we can still figure it out. All you have to do is get C out of the denominator. So what's the opposite of dividing by C? Well, multiplying by C. So you're still going to multiply by the denominator as your first step. The only thing that's different is your denominator is now a variable. So your problem is actually not done. You have to do one more step to get C by itself. So to get C by itself, I have to get rid of this times by cosine of 23. And what's the opposite of multiplying? Divide. So C will be 4.5 divided by the cosine of 23. Which is 4.889. So again, if your variable is in the denominator, you can solve it in 2 steps. Just multiply by your variable, and then you're gonna end up dividing by your trig function. All right, any questions about any of the problems we've done so far? Okay, then what we're gonna do for the rest of class, which is about 15 minutes, is work on the homework. So the homework for 6.5 is not due till Tuesday. We aren't quite done with 6.5. We're gonna do some applications, but you should be able to do problems 1 through 12. The only ones you might struggle with is 13 and 14. We haven't talked about yet. I mean, you could probably figure them out, but you can also just hold off of it. We're gonna talk about those tomorrow in class. So for the rest of those 15 minutes, pull up the homework for 6.5, start working on that. And let me know if you run into any questions that you are having issues with or could use some help on, and I'll help you out as best I can.